Today we continue with our class Shabbos Home, and this session and all of them should be dedicated to Rifash Lamach of our dear Rabbi Yaron Reuven Shlita. His name is Yaron Ben Doris. Also Yehudis Bas Noach, Ariela Ora Bas Anna, Yemi Marasi Rachel Bas Brindel, and Dovid Shlomo Ben Sandra. Also to quick release our dear friend Moshe Shmuel Ben Pnina. BeEzrat HaShem. All right. So we continue with our class Shabbos Home, and we start a new chapter. It's chapter number 26. It's Plowing, Haresh, and section number 1, Dav Melachah. Haresh, plowing, is one of 39 Avos Melachas. Plowing was required for a construction of Mishkan. Since vegetables dyes were used to color fabrics in the Mishkan, it was necessary to plow the ground to prepare for planting herbs used for dyeing, as dyes. Okay, so let's try to understand. So actually, like it's as I said the last time, it's very, a little strange to me at least. So why they put it in this order, I still do not know, because in my mind the plowing would be the first step, and then the sowing. But he put it in that order. I'm not sure what is the reason. Okay, maybe because the Talmud listed in that order. I'm not sure. But plowing, making whole, right? Straightforward, making whole, and then you put seed into that. Okay, so again, plowing is 139 melachas. Plowing was required to plant this vegetable dye. Okay, to color the fabrics. Okay, so meaning prepare the ground for seeding. Okay, that's clear. Continue. Definition. The definition of melachah of Horesh is plowing the ground for the purpose of preparing the earth for planting or sowing. Therefore, any type of the work performed on the earth to achieve this result equivalent to plowing. Okay, so as we see now with the last sentence, he opens like all of the horizon. So it's going to be much more than a person could expect, like a simple making a hole in the ground for planting a seed. So again, the definition of Melachah Haresh, plowing, a ground for the purpose of preparing the earth for planting or sowing. So meaning, as we always say, it's a person is going to violate Melachah only for constructive purpose, right? So when it does for constructive purpose, so what is constructive purpose? So meaning, if a person just make a hole in the ground, right, in the soil, without any purpose, so that's it will be forbidden only rabbinically, right? But if making a hole in order to put the seed or to plant some saplings, so it's going to be violation based on a biblical level. Okay. So continue. Therefore, any type of work performed on the earth, just as performed on the earth, to achieve this result is equivalent to plowing. Okay. Therefore, any type of work performed on the earth, meaning to making holes, achieve this result is equivalent to plowing. So let's, as we see, like a lot is other activities would be included. Section number 3, where the Melachah is applicable. Melachah only applies to plowing of any or any other methods of loosening. Here we go. The soil that could possibly improve the land for planting. Sorry. If, however, the land is not fit for cultivation, the Melachah does not apply. Thus, for example, plowing in a desert is not prohibited because of the earth is unfit for planting. Okay. So let me see how is it. Okay. So let's do this section number 3, and we try to explain. The Melachah only applies when plowing or any other methods of loosening the soil. So it's not exactly with a plow, with any instrument right? Losing the soil that could possibly improve the land for plowing. So meaning, right, if you, as we said about sowing, so if you just put it on a dry land, most likely it's not nothing is going to nothing is going to happen. For example, you have a dirt road, and it's so compressed, so it's like almost like cement or something. Like if you put the seeds, nothing is going to happen. Maybe if it's going to rain, maybe, but otherwise not, or in the desert. So meaning that the soil must be of the type, the environment must be of the type that it could potentially grow something, right? So if, as he said, if land is not fit for cultivation, the Melachah does not apply. So example is in a desert, or it's not, or in a sand. Most likely things are not going to grow in the sand, even though they do grow. I'm not sure how deep is the sand layer. I'm not sure. Maybe under the sand they have soil. I'm not sure 100%. They try they try to grow lettuce, right? And they say if you grow in the sand, there is no bugs. So the bugs only come to the earth. I'm not sure if it's better lettuce, not better lettuce. That's a different story. But they try to get rid of the bugs. Okay. So, but again, I don't think it's like pure sand that they would plant something like a lettuce and it's going to grow. Okay. Continue. So section number 4, and it says activities included in Melachah of plowing. As stated above, the purpose of plowing is to prepare the earth for planting. Therefore, the following labors are included in the Melachah of plowing because each one improves the earth in some manner of planting. Okay. Plowing and losing the ground. A. B. Leveling the ground. C. Making furrows on the ground. D. Removing obstacles from the ground. E. Fertilizing the soil. And F. Making holes in the ground. So as you see, like in this Melachah, how many things are included in this Melachah? Just 1 second. Okay, so how many things? So let's go over the list, and then I think we're going to go into them one by one with all of the details. So again, I stated before, the purpose of plowing is to prepare the earth for planting. So whatever preparation is needed. Therefore, the following labors are included in Melachah of plowing because each one improves the earth in some manner of planting. Okay, number A, plowing and losing the ground. So that's how we understand the classic explanation of plowing. B is leveling the ground. So we're going to see leveling the ground is also for construction. So when somebody is leveling the ground, it's for construction. That's why you would not be allowed to sweep in a house, in olden house with earthen floor. So why? Because you're leveling the floor. Or for example, they say you're not allowed to play ball on the grass. So one issue on the soil, right? One issue that you can tear over the grass if there is grass, or you can level the field wherever you play. So which is the problem. Continue. C, making furrows in the ground. So making furrows. It's not like that we have a plow, but with something like some people are so lazy they cannot pick up things and they drag things. As these things make a lot of noise. So if it's plastic, maybe it's not a big deal. But sometimes it's heavy things. For example, if they would like drag a table, right? They have a lunch, for example, outside in the backyard on Shabbos, and they would try to drag a table. And if it has legs, this leg can make a furrow for sure, right? or chair, like if it's like heavy chair, not plastic chair, but heavy chair for sure. Removing obstacle from the ground, right? So, right, some like it says in what is it in Tanakh many times what sages would do, like not only sages but other people would do, they would clear the fields. In Israel there are a lot of stones, right? So you have to remove all the stones. Not everywhere, but like in mountain regions. So if you want to plant a vineyard, so you have to remove a lot of stones, right? And only then the things can start growing, because these stones are obstacles. So that's D. E, fertilizing the soil. So fertilizing the soil, as we said, the definition of this plowing is improving the soil so it can grow better. So one is of course making whole, right, and another in fertilizer. Put any fertilizer, right? As we said, water, right? Well, in the previous chapter we said do not water. So why water improves the earth, for sure. And last one, F, making holes in the ground. I'm not sure what it's famously asked question about ladies, right? If she has heels, high heels, or maybe not so high heels, but the heels, and they, of course, if they walk like on the soil, they're going to punch the ground, like make holes. So exactly as the F says, is it forbidden? Maybe it's not modest, so for sure it's not modest to walk on the high heels. But if it's not so high heels, a little heels, maybe it's not a problem with modesty, and there is no problem with making holes because it's not your intention. Right? Same as we said, if you remember when we were talking about halach of writing. Right, you cannot write. So you have shoes, right, and on the bottom of the shoes it says like your size, for example, right, and a brand. And every time you walk on the snow, for example, you have like a brand, like stamped into the snow, or you have a mud or something. So of course it's not your intention, right? Yes, it's inevitably like that is going to be because you're wearing the shoes, but it's not your intention, so there is no problem. Okay, so now we're going to each of these categories separately. So first category, as we said, plowing and losing the ground. So this is like classic Melachah, right? Plowing. Subsection 1. So it's section A and subsection 1. As mentioned above, plowing the ground was necessary during the construction of Mishkan in order to plant the herbs from which dye prepared for coloring tapestries. Plowing, which prepares the soil for seeds and roots to enter the ground, is therefore av melacha. The prohibition of plowing includes both making furrows, choresh, and digging holes, chofer. Each of these labor improves the ground. Making furrows, okay. For planting and seeding. So let's go over and try to understand what it says here. So again, Melachah plowing. As mentioned above, plowing the ground is necessary during the construction of the Mishkan in order to plant the herbs. So this one we get. How you get the herbs, especially they needed the herbs where they were, right, and exactly in that region. And just so we know, so people think that we were traveling like gypsies or something. I don't know. Like every other day we would be on the road. Not true. So in the whole the whole travel, I think it was 42 stops. Don't exactly remember, but something like not a lot. And a few of them, I think half of them were in the first year, at least half of them, or almost half of them. And then in one place we stood 19 years or so. Like it was not as bad. Of course, people did not know how long we're going to stay in certain place, but for sure, like as we always say, our job is to do a shtadl. So we need these herbs. So you plant. If they grow and right, they grow. If they don't grow, you have to go forward. So I don't know, maybe dig out or just leave it there. I don't know. So okay. tapestry. Okay, plowing, which which prepares the soil for seeds and roots to enter the ground, is therefore av Melachah. So meaning av Melachah is meaning is action, right? Very similar to the action that was done in the Beis Hamikdash, in the Mishkan, right? So meaning prepare doing the Pharaoh and furrows or digging holes. So that's what I mean. If for individual seed you would dig hole like for bulbs or something, right? You do holes, but for a smaller seed you do plowing. Okay. Continue. Number 2. Methods of performing the Melachah. The Melachah is performed by breaking up the soil, the earth, with a plow, hoe, or spade. Okay. Similarly, one transgresses the Melachah, even if one does not use special tools for digging. For example, stick, a spoon, or one's shoe. Okay. Provided it is the usual methods of breaking the earth. Furthermore, very interesting. Furthermore, one transgresses the prohibition, even if the animal, if an animal or the machine perform the plowing, provided the person guides the animal or the machine. Okay, so let's try to understand what it says here. So again, Melachah performed by breaking up the soil, right, with a plow or a spade or hoe or spade. So all of these special tools. So all of these special tools, as we learned before, it's always forbidden on a biblical level. So like makeshift tools, it's always on a rabbinical level, right? Okay. So similar, one transgresses the Melachah, even if does not use a special tool for digging. So meaning, just because it's not a special tools for digging in this case, but in general for performing Melachah, does not mean that it is allowed. Right? For example, a person will get punishment if he eats kizayis of a pig or some forbidden fat, chalev. Right, but kizayis, what is kizayis? It's like ounce, less than an ounce, 29 grams. So, but if person eats like only a few grams, is he going to like right? Did he violate this Melachah? Like this means 100%. 100%. So same as here. Yeah, it's like of course it's much easier to plow with a plow or with hoe or spade, but even without that, even as he said, with a stick, it's still forbidden. Stick, spoon, right? With spoon also you can dig the hole, right? To like if you need to put one seed, what is the problem? You can do with the spoon, strong enough, right? Or one shoe. Okay, the shoe, yes, you can also dig. And I think I saw this a long time ago in the catalog. These things for gardeners. So they put attached to their shoes this special thing with a spade, and person walks on these things and making holes in the ground, so provide the access of air and water into the ground. Very interesting. So meaning right, it's for sure it's going to be plowing these things. Okay. Provided there is usual methods of breaking up the soil. Okay, so with stick, I'm not sure. Spoon, usually not. Shoes, okay. Furthermore, one transgresses the prohibition. So, but as we said, for sure it would be forbidden on rabbinical level. Further, one transgresses prohibition, even if the animal or a machine perform the plowing, provided the person guide the animal or the machine. So and guide the animal or a machine. For example, if he does not need to disconnect even, right? An animal is just walking by itself, but the animal would walk by itself because of the voice of the person. So right, even giving commands. Is it like even an animal is trained, right? Respond to the person's voice, right? Or machinery. I'm not sure how machinery is going to work without him. Right, but animal for sure can work without him. Right, so it's going to be 100% forbidden. It's very interesting. We learn in a Talmud Avodah Zarah. So it says in area, so it says it's not allowed to sell this, what is it, big animals like domesticated animals like cows and bulls to non-Jews, right? So why? What's the problem? I said the problem is that you might come to lease it, right? And they go in the whole sugya whether leasing is actually selling or not. So leasing, when you lease somebody, is it to this cow, right? Is it his cow for these 3 days that he paid for, or is still my cow that he's using? So it's not such a simple question. We're not going to go to details, but that was the question. So they said it's very interesting. So they say we're not. So they say it looks like leasing. It's like you sell this animal to him, or you like sell whatever you give it to him for such and such period of time. Meaning that he becomes owner, and he can do owner in what sense? That he can do with this cow whatever he wants. Wherever he wants to plow, what does it mean? He wants to plow from 5 in the morning until 6 p.m. He can. Other times, no problem. So it's like an owner would do, right? And same they say. So meaning that if he's like an owner, so you're not allowed to lease to him. So basically, the problem is with leasing. What is the problem? So if it's like that, and this non-Jew comes and he asks to test the animal. So like, how does he know it's good animal, not good animal? So meaning how it carries the burden. And this non-Jew comes where like close to sunset on Shabbos. And I know by like the Eitz Hara sent everybody close to sunset on Shabbos. Close to sunset. In my office, I remember I had to leave early enough, right? And everybody have a question. Now I know that you have to. I have a quick question. Said, look, just send me email after Shabbos. I'm going to look at your email and try to respond on Sunday. If you need before Monday, I'll try. Believe that. I'll try to. So no, it's not going to take long. So a few times I stop or right, but 2 times was enough. I said, I apologize. I need to go. I'm not going to stop. You understand? But this is for Jew a business opportunity. Somebody wants to buy finally his cow, or finally his donkey or something, right? And or horse. And this person is going to come and say, look, I just want to test it, right? How does it carry the burden? Is it good or not? Look, it's going to take only 10 minutes. Of course, it's not going to take 10 minutes. And guess what? And this animal would stand. This non-Jew would load it, and then let's say Shabbos started, and Jew said, okay, Steve. So is it good, or John? Or is it good, not good, or something? And that was enough. And or say, okay, I need to go. So this animal would hear your voice because it's got used to your voice. The word go, and it start walking. It's like you're violating this Melachah of plowing or carrying or like directing the animal. So our sages and their great wisdom, they foresaw it, and they say you're not allowed to sell them animals. Small animals, it's like scary one. It says you're not allowed to sell to non-Jew small animals. Yes, there is no problem, but you're not allowed to stable by them. For example, if you stay in the inn, you cannot stay the animal there. Why? Because they sodomize it, right? For sure. For sure, like it was in those days. I'm not sure how today is it the same, but because many people they openly that they live with the animals, right? In Western country, in the U.S., for sure, many people they say it openly. Like I'm not sure like why. What is that to be so proud of? But that's what it is. But in olden days, for sure, it was halacha not to leave your animals because they're going to sodomize. They own animal, they not going to sodomize. Why? Because they might become infertile. What is the word? Sterile, right? Sterile. So all this crazy. So when just it's one small example when we learn this halacha and this Rav Simcha Bunim Cohen Shlita, when he gives us bottom line, he knows what he's talking about. So it's based on our sages that went into great details. So number 3, amount required for prohibition. One transgressed the prohibition of Haresh by plowing or digging even minute piece of soil. So meaning there is no the minimum amount is the minimum of the minimum. Meaning with I don't know, with a toothpick, a person dig the soil in order to make a hole. That's it. That's already prohibited. So meaning even if a toothpick is like what you can do, yeah, there are some tiny seeds that you can still put there. Right. Mustard seeds, I think, are pretty small. Some others. Okay. So continue. So again, the amount required for prohibition is the tiniest. Number 4, losing the ground through liquids. Right. Pouring water, right? As it was actually the topic of previous Melachah, but many Melachas, many activities, they actually they appear in the 2 separate Melachas as well, right? So meaning when person does one action can violate several different Melachas. So and if it's what is it? If it's lashes, I think person would get a separate sets of lashes for each violation, if I remember correctly. Okay, so pouring water or other liquids into the ground is included in Melachah or Haresh because the liquids soften the ground and is often similar to plowing. So now it's much softer and like after the rain, if you put the seed, all right. So most likely, at least there is a much more like probable that it's going to go in and into the ground from this softening from the rain. Okay. So pouring water, of course, for forbidden and of course it's promoting the growth, as we said in the previous Melachah. And right, if it's sugary water, if you have like soda or something, for sure it's like fertilizer for sure. Right? Or you have wine. I think wine is also good for plants. I think milk for sure. Okay, continue. However, this is only forbidden if the ground will be planted or seeded while it is still wet. If nothing will be done until after the soil is dried, one will not transgress the Melachah, since no benefit will have come from the water in the soil. If one pours water in a place where the plants are growing in the ground, one transgress Melachah Zorea, planting. So that's our previous Melachah. So let's try to understand. So now we were talking about watering. So again, watering meaning if it's only for losing the ground, so that's then it resembles plowing. If it's not for losing the ground, meaning losing the ground in order to put something in there, like a plant there. So, but if it's not for planting, meaning they just pour water and they did not plant anything, so the person does not violate this Melachah. But if there's some growing there, something grass or flowers or some vegetables, so for sure a person is going to violate this Zoreya, planting. So planting again, like bottom line, like straightforward. Melachah is what is a plant, like you put seed in the ground, but we said it's also encompasses all of the activities that promote the growth, whatever is it. Watering, of course, one of them. Okay, so B, pouring strong liquids. Pouring harsh liquids into the soil is not prohibited, even though the soil is thereby softened. Okay. Such liquids do not make the soil more suitable for planting, and in reality damage it. Okay. Consequently, the purpose of the Melachah, preparing the ground for planting, is not achieved. Okay, so let's see. Again, pouring harsh liquids into the soil is not prohibited, even though the soil is thereby softened. So it's softened, but it's like our dog goes there, for example, does its business. So for sure, it's going to kill everything. Such liquids do not make the soil more suitable for planting. I don't know, I don't know, maybe like household chemicals. I don't know, I don't know, some liquids, strong liquids. What is it called? Like Clorox or something. I don't know. Suitable for planting, and in reality damage it. So meaning that's good. I mean, it's not that good, but at least it does not violate this Melachah. Consequently, the purpose of the Melachah preparing the ground for planting is not achieved. So let me quickly check time and see how long we should go. Let's stop here.